So in this video, I'll address responsiveness and look at that from a couple of different angles. So I'm making these videos here and won't be interacting with you in general until after you've learned what you can with these videos, seen if they're for you, spent time with the Landscape Success courses, gotten a full refund if those are not for you, found something useful, and then want to take it to a deeper level. So the first thing that I want to acknowledge is that video relationships are a little bit of a new thing, and they have healthy and unhealthy elements. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I do a lot of responding. And the reason that I do that is it helps me integrate. I also don't think it's terribly healthy to vegetate. The purpose of consuming any media is to respond in a way that benefits your life or someone else's life that you care about. If you're using media in a way that has no benefit to your life or someone you care about because you take zero action or don't enjoy it in a meaningful way, that's a destructive use of media. Now, one remembers something that one engages with, and that's why I respond. And there's two useful responses in media. One is to argue. So if you watch one of these videos and you see a problem, argue with it and spell out a better solution so that you train your own mind to identify a more useful pattern of behavior. A useful pattern of behavior is a behavior that takes you closer to one of your goals. And it doesn't matter if anyone else agrees with you, and it doesn't matter if anyone in particular sees that information. What matters is that you see that information and respond. So I do a fair amount of responding on YouTube, and most of it is ignored. Now, I also do a fair amount of publishing on YouTube, and most of that is ignored. Just like I've advised, hundreds and hundreds of people over the course of my lifetime, most of my advice has gone, misunderstood, not listened to, or that's a great idea, and then the person doesn't follow through. So I don't advise people with the expectation or intention necessarily that they do anything about my advice. Rather, what I've found is that I give great advice if I take it in this way. So I see a problem in the way someone's doing something from an efficiency point of view, from some angle. It's not optimal. Secondly, I come up with a solution. Thirdly, 90% of the time they ignore everything that I've said or don't take any action. About 5% of the time they actually take action. And that would be a waste of advice. So what I do is after I've finished giving advice, is I let go of them doing anything about it, and then I ask myself what I could do in my own life to implement my advice. And then my world gets better. Every single time I follow my own advice that others may or may not ignore, my life gets better. And that's my job. Now, I've got a lot going on in my life. I run a nonprofit, I run my business. I love free time. I love getting up and saying, what do I want to do today, and following a fresh thread. Sometimes I have a dream, in the evening, and I wake up, and that gives me, and I'm excited to see where there's some message in that dream that something's interesting to me, and the whole day will unfold as a response to that dream and take me in some new direction. It's wonderful what the subconscious mind comes up with. So none of this is presumed to be perfect. Every system that a human being can create is flawed by definition. The winning approach is rather of cutting and pasting, editing and mixing and reacting positively or negatively. It doesn't matter. If you tear these videos to shreds, as long as you replace it with something better, let go of getting me to agree with you, and then take action, monitor the results of that action, and if your life gets better, have at it. Keep on going. Now, my personality type, I like nuance. I go into things deeply. I've always got way more ideas than I have time to pursue, by roughly 1,000 to 1. And so, this is a project of putting things out there at this point, of putting together what I've learned from 500 books, 27 years of growing and succeeding in this business, and putting it together in a way that I've never seen done and that my younger self would benefit from. Now, if 0.5% of the marketplace benefits as well, wonderful. If all I do is remember some of the things that really worked and do those better, wonderful. If all I do is practice my speaking voice so that another video in 2 or 3 years from now is more effective and takes off, and wonderful. It's just a discipline of putting things into words which develops thought, which develops ideas. Now, there is always something wrong with something. There always. And so it's not terribly productive for you to refrain from learning until it's perfect. It may be fun, it may be a great excuse not to do something, but it's not terribly productive because nothing is perfect. And it's not terribly productive for me not to explore other things that I'm interested until any of this stuff is perfect. I also want, first of all, I like being used well. And it's a complete waste of time to respond to people with the mindset that something I do has to be perfect before they're going to benefit from it. Because it just means they'll never benefit. Because nothing I do will ever be perfect. It's not to my own eyes. Why would it be to anyone else's? And so the person who uses these videos, in other words, if you watch these videos, look and monitor, has your life improved? Have you done anything? Have you enjoyed these videos in any way that your life has improved? If so, enjoy the improvement. Congratulations. You may be interested in the Landscape Success courses. If you listen to those courses and nothing improves, get a refund first of all, and move on to something else. Again, engaging more with you will not be useful at that time. Now, if you've learned something and taken action from these kind of presentation and free videos, 1. 2, if you value your future enough to invest energy to pay some of the cost of producing and sharing this information, congratulations. You've got a winning mindset because nothing is free in this world. Everything takes time, effort, money, natural resources. There is an energy cost to everything. And the goal of spending less energy in general is a shrinking, leads to a shrinking world. I want to do less, give less, spend less, learn less, work less. You get less. I want to invest fully. I want to give fully. I want to learn fully. I want to work fully. I just want to do it in a way that I love and that brings value to myself and other people. Your life will expand. So if you've bought the courses, grown, learned, developed, and you're looking for something more, first of all, you've proved to yourself and to me that you have the capacity to do something useful with this material. Not everyone does. A large percentage of people do not have the capacity to do anything useful with the best books on the planet, which is why they're not doing anything useful with the best books on the planet. Because if you have the discipline, the intelligence, the patience, and the drive to read the best books on the planet and do something useful with them, you do it because it's fun, because it's satisfying, because you become a bigger, better person, you grow. If you don't, if you just say, I really want to do this, but then I don't do it, then you don't have that ability. And it doesn't really matter how good the books are. If you've got that drive, you can look through a children's book and, oh gosh, I think I can, the little train that could, oh, I could do this, or whatever. You can do something with a kid's book, and your life can change. It's not about your degrees, but there's a capacity, a willingness to grow, to invest. And so if you've done everything you can, and your life is more successful, more abundant, because you did, because you could, then you're showing both of us that more energy of that similar nature will take your life to an even higher level. And that's what I'm interested in. If you can, if you have the ability, which you will know by demonstrating it. Because if you can't do anything with these videos, if you can't do anything with a course, you don't have the ability. If you did, you'd use it. Why? Because it's more fun to succeed, to grow, etc., than it is to fail and be lazy and mediocre. It's more fun. You get to become something more. So if you have the ability, you will use it. And if you use it, then it's useful for you and for me to have something, to do with one another beyond the course. So that's why I do my coaching after the course. And I also don't respond up until that point. And if you have great ideas and a counterpoint to any of this, don't worry about engaging with me. Make a video and put it up there. Share your knowledge. You know things I don't know. You can say things in a way that are real for you that I can't say because they're not real for me. Put that out there and be valuable. There's no competition. There is space in the ecosphere of ideas and information. One of the things that's fun reading hundreds of books about successful people is they're all right in their own lives based on their own experience, and they say the complete opposite thing in many cases. The education is the most important thing. Who needs education? Wake up early and do the things early in the day. I'm a night person. I do my best work at 2 a.m. Everyone has a different way. And what's common to every person who's growing, who's learning, who's contributing and becoming successful, is there's a love, a desire, a willingness to invest in a better future, to be excited about that, to become more than we were yesterday, to develop skills better than we had yesterday, to become more efficient, to give more, to serve more. That drive is the most precious thing, and it cannot and doesn't come in a book. If you love yourself, if you love the world, if you love your future and who you're becoming, you will give and invest and create more. If you don't, your life will wait around in mediocrity until such time as that bothers you enough to make a shift. And that's when almost any path can become a stepping stone to where you want to go.